Well, good evening, gang, and welcome to It's All About Arts. My name is Glenn Williams, and I'm your host. And to my right and to your left, and a little bit down, there she is the great, I'm going to come down to you, is the great Valerie Eliason. Hi, Val, how are you?
I'm great, how are you?
It's great to see you and listen to you, gang. We're coming to you live from our beautiful studios here at B&N TV in Studio B. And you're more than welcome to join us if you'd like. We're at 617-708-3290. Give us a call. Let us know what's going on artfully in your community. And we're looking forward to hearing from you. How you doing, Val?
I'm doing great, yeah.
What's new and exciting in Val Land?
Doing some fun stuff.
Good.
Yeah, fun stuff with your lovely bride.
Yes, that's great. I'm so happy to hear that you're going to be, kind of getting some tips and stuff from her, and that's really great. You're going to be helping out around. I'm glad to hear it.
Yeah. How was your show this weekend?
I had a great time. I played with a band made up of three of the finest musicians in New England, in the East Coast. Phil Kaplan, who is an amazing guitarist, incredible musician and writer. David Kulick, who is a drummer who has played with everybody from, everybody, room full of everybody. He's a big, huge session drummer here in the city. And Sam Kulick, who is a bass player and trombone player.
Nice.
And I had the great honor of them asking me to open up for them for a live show that they did at a place over in Watertown on Arsenal Street called The Right Turn.
Yes.
And it was great.
Yeah. Cool. You played the ukulele, right?
I played the uke and I played the guitar. I did all my love songs, all my mushy stuff.
Wow.
And it was fun because, I wasn't, you know how you're nervous and you're not sure how it's going to work out and how the show's going to be and stuff. But I got a great response from a packed house. And it was a lot of fun.
You got some encores and standing ovations?
They asked, but I, left them wanting more. Well, when you're opening for somebody else, you got to get out of the way.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing. You don't steal the show. You just kind of get them warmed up a little bit. But it was an honor to be playing with them, and they've got a new CD coming out. Twine is the name of their band, and I'm going to get them in here a couple of times to talk a little bit about their experiences and their stuff. The cool thing about Right Turn is it's a rehab center.
Oh.
For drug and alcohol abuse, and it's catered towards old rock musicians and people in the industry, who can't, who maybe feel funny or uncomfortable about going to some regular kind of rehab centers, but they've been at it for many years. I played at a benefit for them some years ago when they were over in Arlington. Now they've moved over to Watertown.
Nice.
So go to their Facebook and all their websites and stuff. They've got some amazing musicians coming up to play again there. I hope to be invited back to play. I think I might.
Well, sounds like you will.
Yeah, I might. And but it was great fun.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, you'd have enjoyed it. It was kind of, it's intimate. You're up close and you're kind of playing it to the people. The stage is beautifully lit and it's a nice sound system, so it sounds really, really nice. Then it goes off. But it's a lot of fun.
Nice.
How about yourself? Did you do anything interesting this weekend?
Let's see. I got to check out a new bar that my friend is helping open, and I might actually get to be painting a mural downstairs at it. So I'm pretty excited about that. It'll be all text, but it'll actually be pretty close to what I enjoy doing, because if I do get to do it, knock on wood, if I do get to do it, it'll be a lot of sort of stenciling and cutting out for the letters to get them perfectly uniform. And I love that type of work. It's very
Have you done murals before?
Nothing that big, actually. This will be the biggest piece that I've done.
Well, good luck with that.
So I'm pretty, I'm looking forward to it.
Well, it sounds like you're planning it out. You kind of know which direction you want to go and what to happen. That's kind of cool.
Any tips, though, I would gladly take anyone if anyone is.
Yes, go to our Facebook page. Maybe we'll start a thread there.
Give us give me some tips.
Because I want to put up a mural at the school that I'm working at.
That would be wonderful.
Sacred Heart, they want to put a kids type of greeting place entrance, and they want a kids type mural thing put up, and
Would they have
they
some
knocked on my door.
do
Glenn,
it?
take care of this for us, and well, yeah, kids can. I think I'd like it if there were kids involved in it, so it'd be kind of like a learning thing at the same time. Good friend coming on next week, Dre. Dr. Dre is a muralist. I'm going to get some information. He does it with spray, with the compressor. You're going to love this guy next week, Dre.
No kidding.
Yeah, he's an incredible artist. He's going to be here next week, but it'll be fun. But anyways, beside the point. That's next week.
Yes.
This week, we're going out into our gallery. There's a new gallery show.
I know. I love the paintings out there. Are beautiful.
Yeah.
So many different mediums.
Yeah, it's a definite
Great.
group show, and the supporting organization, Artlifing, is an organization that's now become kind of across the country, where they're it's to the benefit of homeless people, and we're going to get a chance to meet Katie, who is the managing director or the CEO, whatever. She's in charge. She makes all the decisions.
The head cheese.
Yeah, so we're going to get a chance to meet her, but I'm going to go out into the gallery to meet them out there. I think it'll be a lot of fun to do that.
Yeah, definitely. We have some of the artists here.
Yeah, some of the artists are
Be
here.
great to meet
We're going
them.
to meet a couple of them, and so it's a good show. We're looking forward to tonight. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I hope.
Oh, I think so. Absolutely.
Are you ready for the summer? I can't wait till Farmers Market
It
opens
doesn't
up.
feel like summer this
Well,
week.
isn't it
It's been
awful? I mean, this is New England. They say if you don't like the weather, wait a minute. Yeah, it's going to change on you, but
I know, just a couple more weeks and we'll be opening with the farmers market.
Farmers Market will be open very soon. And last week, I said that benefit was going to be for the parade committee it's this coming weekend.
So if you missed it, here's your chance.
It's still an opportunity to get there. I apologize to my good friend Tom Donahue and all. I jumped the gun and kind of I misread the date here. It's this coming weekend. I get excited about it. Well, I love doing that because I'm the kind of the master ceremonies and kind of the get to introduce everybody and play the music and make the announcements and stuff. And so I'm right in my element there.
Yeah.
But because of my little operation, I'm going to have somebody helping me carry some of the equipment. My grandson Devin is going to come and be a roadie for me. He can wrap up some cables and stuff and
slap a black T-shirt on him.
Get him a black T-shirt, absolute with crew on the back.
Yep.
It's got to be done.
You gotta.
And it'll be fun to be hanging around with my son and my grandson. It's going to be a lot of fun. But,
I'm sure he'll love
but that's this coming Friday, so make sure you check that out, please.
Absolutely.
Let's get this show rolling because we got so many things that we want to get involved. We want to get out into the gallery, and Cole's going to get us out there. We're really happy to be able to have that benefit here. We really push the envelope on the staff here at B&N. I mean, we really appreciate the fact that they let us get away with half the stuff that we do. But we're going to take a walk back out into the gallery after another Val's View, right?
Yes.
Val's View coming up.
Exactly. We got a good one.
We do want to take a couple of seconds to talk about the great people that help support us here at B&N TV and at It's All About Arts. It's the Boston Main Streets program. Boston Main Streets helps revitalize business districts around the area, and it's all volunteer driven. They take the people from the community that is going to be impacted by the kind of businesses and the kind of renovating that they're going to be doing down in their squares, in their town hall, whatever their business district is located. And they put them on their committees, and they get them to get the ideas and formulate the way things are going to be. And they have a committee that works with the property owner so he'll know the right kind of demographic. Because too often times in the city, these buildings are owned by people who are blind to the situation. So Main Streets make sure that they have the right information as far as the kind of businesses that'll flourish in their storefront. And then there's the design committee, which helps the business once they get in there to look professional and to make sure their signage is right, and they help them with some seed money to get the signs up because it's so expensive to open up. Most of the businesses that they start are these mom and pop stores, these family businesses, first time people opening and venturing into the into the world of retail.
Rosendale has a lot of those.
Yeah, we do. We're
Yeah.
very proud of that. That's something we're really proud of, is that a lot of the businesses, when you're shopping in the area, you may run into the owner of the business across the street because he's doing his shopping because he lives up around the corner. So it's kind of a really cool thing. And then the promotions committee, which we've talked about them at nauseam, they do the incredible jobs that they do with the egg hunt and the tree lightings and the farmers market that's coming up and all of the festival type of things that happen in your neighborhoods. The Main Street program is probably solely responsible for it. So if you see somebody with a Main Street staff t-shirt or something like that, tell them that Val and I were very appreciative of all the things that they do for us.
Exactly. And another thing we like to talk about is this amazing building.
This is an incredible place that we're in. I mean, I don't think that people get a full appreciation of it. Our guests were here today and they're kind of walking around going, what was this place? Wow, this is...
One of them actually hit the nail on the head. He goes, it looks like it used to be a power station.
That's great.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. See, it used to be a power station for the MBTA that used to run the Orange Line up and down Washington Street here, the old elevated, the Rattler, we used to call it. And this is where they got their power for that. And as technology took over, it wasn't necessary to have these humming generators every 7 or 8 blocks. So this place stayed idle for so many years. And B&N partnered with the city and Urban Edge and purchased this building and renovated it and put 2 state-of-the-art recording studios in it. And here we are doing programming here now. And the station that you're watching right now is news and information. Let's say you have a nonprofit out there and you want to do your mission statement, you want to get some guests on to talk about the different things that your nonprofit does. This would be the station you'd do it at. You'd come and it's live. People can call in and ask questions. So this is this kind. Now there's a second half of B&N that is cable access. It's access, where people come and take all of these cool classes in Final Cut Pro and lighting and sound, how to run these incredible state-of-the-art cameras, how to do the control room, all that kind of thing. And you get to sign out well, you know, why don't we just take a break and turn the station over to channel 23 and see what's on the air there now. Let's see what's going on.
Well, when life gives you lemons.
When life gives you lemons. Now that is, life gives, it's the box of life cereal. That was very funny. That was pretty good. But on that side, what you do is you go out, you sign out, that was good.
Yeah.
You sign out these incredible equipment. You can go and shoot the local debate, you know, or the local school event or something, and you come back here and you edit it in the great Timothy Smith lab downstairs, which has all the state-of-the-art editing equipment, and you put it on TV.
And they have some really impressive equipment down there. I've gotten to spend a little bit more time and that downstairs, and I'm always surprised at how many people don't take advantage of it. I mean, there is just a wealth of
One of the things
classes.
Timothy Smith does is they go around to different organizations here in this section of the city, and every 4 or 5 years or so they put in a new lab, state-of-the-art lab in there, computer lab. And they support you with educational things. They support you with programming. They support you. They did it for the Boys and Girls Club over in Orchard Gardens when I was working with them. And all of a sudden they sat down with me and said, "What do you want?" And I said, "I want this, this, this." And the next thing I knew, the place was, they were in there wiring the place for a brand new.
Wow.
Brand new. Now the kids over there have this incredible lab, computer lab. But they've been doing it here, and what happens is downstairs are these big, huge Macs to do all this editing and stuff. It's fantastic.
Oh yeah.
It's fantastic.
Great resources.
So, but if you want to get involved here, the great way to do it is to go to www.bnntv.org.
Click on Janice Williams or Jim Atwood's name.
Janice or Jim would be the ones that will be able to take care of all the information that you need to become a member here and to get doing some television programming.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
It is a lot of fun.
Next week, I haven't told David this yet, but I'm going to make it so that it's so.
Breaking news.
Breaking news in the
Breaking
booth.
news, Dave.
5 or 6 of the kids that are in my computer, in my audio club, my video club, audio visual club, are coming with me next week.
That's
to
awesome.
the show. Yeah, they're just going to kind of look through the windows and watch what we do here, maybe sit them over in the corner, so they can see how it's done, because we're trying to do the same kind of programming over at our school, over at Sacred Heart, where you do a live show, you got a couple guys behind the cameras and stuff, and someone in there. So for them to see it done on a big professional level would be kind of cool for them, so they're going to be joining us next week.
That's exciting.
This is how I thought I'd break it to David on live
Is Dave running out the door right now?
He hasn't yet. You have a great Val's View coming up?
I do, yeah.
Okay, you know, we're not gonna waste any more time. No, we're not wasting time. I'm sorry. We're not going to linger any longer.
Yes.
Listen, gang, you're watching BNN TV's It's All About Arts. My name is Glenn. This is the lovely Val. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes. Please don't go away. We have another Val's View coming up. We'll be right back. Well, welcome back, gang. Thanks an awful lot for hanging in there with us. You are watching BNN TV's It's All About Arts. My name is Glenn, and I just want to remind everybody that this show, you'll be able to see this show again in just a couple of days. I have to stretch it. Okay, in a couple of days for the, we all right? Okay, in a couple of days you're going to be able to see this on our YouTube station. Our YouTube station is, if you go to your channel and you type in "It's All About Arts" with the number 1 next to it, it'll get you to all the shows that we've been doing here at B&N. There's shows from back when we were at the old City Place in downtown, and there were some great things that we were doing down there because we started doing this about 18 years ago. So there's some shows that date back to the early days, and that had, you know, all kinds of strange and cool things going on. But what is exciting about that is that we want you to go and check out all of the shows that we've done. Also, please go to our Facebook page. Our Facebook page is incredibly, it's all about arts. And what you'll get from that is all the different things that are happening around the city and around New England, all the artful things that are happening. And speaking of artful things, it's now my great pleasure and honor to bring back to the Val's View stage another segment here, folks, for Val's View. Take it away.
Well, hey, thanks, Glenn. That was a good stretch. So we have a couple things coming up in and around the city of Boston over the next few weeks. Of course, with Mother's Day around the corner, we have a couple things geared towards Mom. So first on our list, we have the Mother's Day pop-up shop. That's going on May 7th from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. at the Arsenal Project over in Watertown. There's going to be a number of artists and crafters that are coming together. There's, I think, about almost 50 of them. It's a great opportunity if you've been sort of procrastinating getting Mom a Mother's Day gift, heading on down there and picking her out something, or if you want to bring her along with you and maybe even get some lunch afterwards. I think she'd like that too. So definitely go check that out. A great chance to meet artists, a great chance to sort of see some of the things that they're creating and see some of the great Boston art scene. So second on our list, we have Heart for Art. That's going on May 7th from noon to 4 at the Boston Common. So this is a great event hosted by the Arts Resource Collaborative for Kids, and it involves free ice cream. So who wouldn't like that? Hopefully it's warm enough for ice cream by then. So this Saturday, if you head down to the Common and donate your heart to the Art Resource Collaborative, and what that means is they're going to have different paper hearts out for you to decorate and draw on and personalize and make your own, and in exchange for doing that, they will give you a tasty little treat from Ben & Jerry's. And if you have a sweet tooth like me and you'd like more of a tasty treat, you can head down to the Ben & Jerry's on Newbury Street, and 100% of the proceeds for the ice cream go to helping the Art Resource Collaborative for Kids. So it's great way to sort of help out within the arts and great way to get some ice cream. So third on our list, we have the Make-a-thon. That's going on May 8th from noon to 7 at the Washington Street Gallery. The Make-a-thon is a creative collaboration hosted by Creative Living Works. It's teams of 2 to 5 people that are going to get together and have 4 hours to collaborate on a piece of art that incorporates each and every one of their skill sets. So after they're finished, they're going to be presenting it to the audience, to the guests, and they'll get to sort of vote and decide on which one they like best. So if you want to be a part of that and be a part of one of the teams and meet some great new people and great new artists, definitely should pre-register. But if you want to just go down and sort of see some of the projects that they come up with, or even just meet some people, have a good day with some of your friends, that's free, and you can just stop down whenever you'd like. So I hope you get a chance to check out some of those fun things in and around the city. It's always my pleasure to bring to you the events and different art happenings that are happening in and around the area. But without further ado, I'm going to shoot it over to Glenn. He's out in our gallery with some great artists and great people from Artlifting. So I'm going to shoot it out to you, Glenn. Thank you.
Welcome back, gang. Thanks an awful lot, Val. I really appreciate that. A great Val's View as usual. And remember, you can get Val's View on the inside page of the city paper. Yeah, Val's got her own little section there, so you can check out what's going on there, here, and there. So this is great. Listen, we're out in the B&N Gallery, and hi, everybody. Welcome.
Hey.
Welcome to the gallery. We've got another opening here. We're going to be looking at some of the beautiful art here. Why don't we, well, come on, guys, let's make our way through here and see. This is a beautiful piece here. Susan Brandner.
Susan Brandner. She's an artist from Chicago.
You know, why don't I introduce you, Kathy? Come on over here. This is the executive director of the organization that's kind of putting all of this together. We're going to take a couple of seconds and talk to her. It's Kathy Manzi, right?
Yeah.
Thank you for coming in, Kathy. I really
Thank you for
appreciate
having us.
Tell us a little bit about the organization that you're representing. Well, you're kind of like the boss over there, aren't you?
I'm the director of operations, so I do a lot of the behind-the-scenes work.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah, so Artlifting is a company that sells artwork made by artists who are homeless, formerly homeless, or disabled.
Oh, I see. That's amazing. I thought that it was kind of like a benefit, but it's not. This is actually the art that is being produced by some of our homeless.
Yes, from across the country. We started right here in Boston, but now we have artists in 11 cities across the country.
But it's not just homeless, it's disabled as well,
yes,
right?
Yes, disabled as well.
Okay, that's great. You were going to tell me a little bit about this beautiful piece here, Susan's.
Susan Brandner, she's one of our artists from Chicago, one of the first ones from Chicago, and this is Every Which Road. And she's actually one of our artists with disabilities, so she has some mental disabilities as well as being homeless.
As well as being homeless.
Yeah.
What brought this? I mean, this is going to sound like a silly question, but how did this whole thing get started? It's unfortunate that we have to be talking about this kind of issue in this day and age. But how did this thing get started?
Artlifting was actually started in December 2013 by Liz and Spencer Powers, a brother and sister. Liz started some art programs here in Boston in some of the women's shelters and found that there's this incredible talent. They're, so talented, these artists, and there's just no way for them to sell their artwork.
Right.
So she decided to create Artlifting, which is an online website, www.artlifting.com, to sell their artwork.
That's
to get
amazing.
it out to the world.
That's great. That really. Let's work our way through some of these. Okay, let's work our. We back. I really. This piece right here by Jim Waters. Tell me a little bit about Jim.
Jim is actually a local artist. He's from Cambridge, Massachusetts, and he does a lot of work about like the sea and also New Orleans. So he does a lot of nautical pieces, Rockport, Boston area, and then he also has a fascination with New Orleans. So this is Bourbon Street Saturday Night.
That's beautiful. How big of an organization is it? I mean, how many artists do you represent?
We have over 70 artists now, and we're constantly growing.
In just Boston?
No, in 11 cities across
11
the
cities around?
Yes.
How did it move? It was just picked up in other cities and said, this is a great... Did it start here?
Yeah, it started here in Boston.
Very cool.
We started with just 4 artists here in Boston. Some artists reach out to us. We also reach out to other artists through our website, through partner organizations, shelters, and different disability centers across the country.
Now, if people wanted to get involved, let's say someone saw this Bourbon Street piece and they kind of said, hey, I'd like to hang that. Is there a website they can go to kind of get in touch with you, Kathy?
Yeah, they're all online, artlifting.com. They're all for purchase as originals, as prints, and then we also sell products like tote bags, phone cases.
Oh, that's great.
And the artists always earn 55% of every sale.
No, that's amazing. That's great. I do want to move down to this one in the middle here, one of my favorites here. We're going to meet this artist right now.
Fine with me.
Alan Chamberlain, thank you.
Hi.
You're going to come into the studio in a couple of minutes and sit and spend some time with us.
Okay.
But I want you to tell our friends while we're looking at this live out here. This is a... Tell me.
Paper cutting.
It's paper cutting.
It's a paper cutting of Boston Harbor, just catching the reflections off the water.
It's beautiful. Yeah. It's beautiful. We're going to get into the process and stuff a little bit later, but this whole thing, what was the feeling among the artist group when you heard about this gallery here at Boston Neighborhood Network?
I was excited. I was excited. I mean, Boston is such a wonderful city.
Yeah.
And Artlifting and my art career like this could not have started anywhere else.
Right.
It took the open minds and the people willing to support who live in Boston to give this a good kickoff.
You've been with them for a while.
Yes, since the beginning.
Since the beginning. You're one of the original 4 artists. That's great. And so you've seen it grow and you've seen some of the great things that it's done.
Yeah.
We're going to get into all of that when we get you into the studio. But I do want to take a quick second to say hello to my great friend Curtis Henderson, who's the executive director here. He is the general manager. I'm going to call you a lot of things tonight, I think, Curtis. But
just don't call too late for dinner.
Just don't call too late. I want to ask you about your feelings about having this kind of a gallery in here and some of the benefits that are going to be made out by for some of the...
Well, as you know, Glenn, I think this is a great idea,
and I think it has brought a lot of cachet to being in. I think the artists in the community who have hung their work here have really appreciated that, and you and Janice have done a fantastic job
thank you.
of making this happen. So
Well, we're very,
we really
very
appreciate
proud of it, and I think that it's you and I have been talking about this for years, and now
Yes.
here we've been doing it for a little while. It's worked out really well, hasn't it?
It has. It has. It's beautiful. All the artwork that we've been able to experience has been really great.
That's great.
I appreciate it.
Thank you. Well, listen, gang. You know what we're going to do is I'm going to shoot you back to the studio because the great Valerie. Listen, thank you very much, everybody. There's plenty of cookies and grapes. We love grapes. But Val's in the studio right now with one of the great artists who has a couple of things hanging here. You're going to get a chance to meet her. So I'm going to shoot this back to Val. Val, are you in there?
I am. Hey, Glenn, that was awesome. It was so nice to meet some of the artists and see all the pieces and get to see the gallery. So glad that we got to do that. Without further hesitation, though, we have one of the amazing artists in the studio with us, Kitty Zen. Kitty, thank you so much for being on the show. It's so nice to meet you.
Thank you.
So now you're one of the artists with Artlifting, and tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us about your artwork. What type of mediums do you like to use?
So I like to use a wide variety of materials. I started off sketching and using dry mediums and kind of evolved into paint, mainly with a watercolor kind of process, and that kind of evolved into acrylic because of the wide range of rich, bright colors you can use, and that's what really drew my eye the most. But part of my artistic process has involved using a lot of found materials and in creative ways, so usually my pieces are primarily mixed medium for that reason. For a long time I was using reclaimed canvases or making my own out of cardboard and kind of dumpster diving to find things to paint on, so I ended up with some very unique pieces.
That's I mean, they're even more one of a kind than if you would go down to a Dick Blick and pick up a canvas there. I feel like it adds like a very personal touch to it in that sense. Tell us about some of your pieces that you have outside in the gallery.
I have one piece out in the gallery that's kind of a new style for me right now. I've been kind of experimenting with different kinds of patterns that you can see in everyday life and trying to incorporate them into abstract works.
Okay.
So I've started, well, I've been taking photographs as reference images for a very long time, primarily for when I paint cityscapes, and that's one of my favorite subjects is the city of Boston and all of the great architecture and landscapes. But I've also been taking a lot of other obscure pictures, just little daily scenes of life and, crumpled piles of clothes or flowers or things on the sidewalk. And this particular one is inspired by a lot of floral patterned clothing that I have and just the different textures that they make, and also longing for springtime. I've been working a lot with a lot of bright tones of blues and pinks and greens, so it's both an experiment in the subject matter and in the color palette.
You look very spring yourself. I love your hair.
Thank you.
Very bright and uplifting and colorful. I know definitely with the weather in Boston, I imagine that I know that must affect your work. Maybe in the wintertime things are a little darker, but in the spring I definitely know what you mean by gravitating towards brighter colors and just yearning for that warm Boston weather. Now, how long have you been with Artlifting? And tell us a little bit about your experience with them and how you like working with them as an artist.
I've been with Artlifting for, I feel like it's been 2 years, but so much has happened in such a rapid pace that it might be less and it might be more time than that. But I first became involved with Artlifting when I was staying at the Harvard Square homeless shelter, and after having a rough go with trying to get my foot in the door with some professional galleries because of the heavy stigma of homelessness, and even within the local art community, that's not a very easy glass ceiling to break through. So some of the shelter staff had known that I was an artist and I'd been making art outdoors and selling it out in public parks, and they suggested that I meet the Artlifting team who were then at the iLab. And a lot of the students who were volunteers at the shelter had known a lot of the iLab staff and the initial Artlifting staff, and it was just a perfect match. And I brought my portfolio there to them, and I wasn't sure what was going to happen, but it just seemed like there was so much potential and so much possibility, and it's proven to be more than I ever could have dreamed of, to the point that I have to redefine what I dream about, because the sky is really the limit, and that's the way it feels.
That's incredible. That's such a great story. You talked about doing a lot of mixed media by different found objects around the area. I've gotten the chance to meet a couple of artists that do similar stuff like that, and it always fascinates me. Where do you sort of pull inspiration for the found materials, or do you use like found materials from nature, like different maybe like acorn caps or different things that maybe have been like tossed aside? Like what sort of found materials do you like to work with?
Well, I kind of gravitate towards a more urban type of inspiration, so I like to use like discarded cardboard boxes and newspaper clippings, and I do a lot of collage work. I've used a lot of discarded pieces of wood, like plywood, as canvases, and broken bits of jewelry. I did a series of embellishments within the collage. That was pretty fun.
That sounds beautiful. Nice. Now, with what sort of, when you're creating your work, where do you have a set space that you like to work in, or do you find yourself sort of painting and drawing and creating and working on pieces everywhere? Where do you like to work on your pieces the most?
I have the blessing of having a studio space in Cambridge that I'm able to use.
That's amazing. Great.
That is fantastic. But I do still make a lot of art outdoors.
I imagine especially in the spring and summer, it's nicer.
Especially when the weather's getting nice. It's right about that time.
Yeah.
If the rain would let up a bit, but
yeah, I agree.
I do love making art in the public areas. The Boston Commons, especially, is one of my favorite places.
Yeah. Oh, it's so inspiring over there. Everything, especially even just people watching down there. I feel like
absolutely.
It's inspiring in itself. How long have you been an artist for? I mean, is this something that you've been doing since you were a kid, or is this something you got into, a little bit later in life? Or?
It's something I've always had a passion for, but growing up, even though I did try and gravitate towards a school that had a strong art program, I was just kind of beat down with the social notion that art school is a pipe dream and that you're throwing your money away. So as a kid, I never actually dreamed that I would be a professional artist. I didn't fathom at all that that could be a realistic thing for me, even though that probably would have been my biggest dream.
Yeah.
But it was always something that I could come back to, something that I always had when I had nothing. It was the one constant for me. And as we were talking about earlier, the gravitating towards brighter colors, I do gravitate towards brighter themes and more upbeat imagery in my artwork, because I like to create beauty in my life where there is none. And for me, art is actually creation more than just being able to make an image. The act of making art is a very therapeutic experience, and it can help you realize things about your life and about yourself that you may have no other way to express or to put into words. So for me, art has always been that go-to for me and that way to express and to work through things in my life.
I think that's a beautiful message. I think that too often you see art move into sort of this consumer sort of mindset where you're just sort of mass producing images for the sake of what people want to buy or people want to see. But I mean, this seems to be something that's so special for you, and I think that's the sign of what a true artist is someone that takes the whole process of creating something and puts so much of themselves in it and puts out beautiful pieces, and that's wonderful. I'm so glad that you are here sharing that with us today.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, of course. Now, with your pieces, we have one of them out there. Where can we purchase your pieces, or where would people be able to sort of maybe get some of your pieces if they're like, hey, that piece by Kitty Zen is pretty amazing, like where could we get that? Where would people find your works to buy?
The Artlifting website.
Okay, perfect.
Well, other than that, we have a lot of exhibits going on right now. I just got back from New York with Artlifting. We did a partnership with Lisa Mattress, and we have the Lisa Dream Gallery up, pop-up shop in Soho for the next 6 weeks, I think. So one of my pieces is on display there.
Oh, wonderful.
Another thing that's going on over at the Boston Market, we have a week-long show that is going to wrap up with a fondue party this Friday.
Oh, that's nice. We like that. We like fondue. Where is that again?
At the Boston Market.
Boston Market? Okay, perfect. All right. Well, thank you so much for being on. It's been wonderful talking to you. I mean, what you said about art, I think is probably one of the best messages that there is to say about it, and it's been wonderful having you on the show. Thank you so much. And so we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll have another great artist from Artlifting. Kitty, thank you so much for being on the show. It's been a pleasure meeting you. So don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be right back with Glenn and another one of the wonderful guests from Artlifting. Thank you.
Well, welcome back, gang. Thanks for hanging in there with us. Great job, Val. That was a very interesting interview with Kitty. That was kind of, that was really, really informative. Thank you. You did a great job. Welcome back to the studio. I want to remind everybody again that you can see this show coming up soon on probably a day or two on our YouTube station, which is It's All About Arts and the #1. And please go and like our Facebook page. We need all of the likes and all the comments that we can get. It's not just about the show, it's about what's happening artfully around the city. But right now, it's my great pleasure and honor to reintroduce you to Alan Chamberlain. Hello, Alan.
Hello.
Thank you for coming into the studio with us.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome back, Val. How are you?
I'm good.
Good to see you. We touched on it just a little bit out in the gallery about that you've been kind of associated with this organization for quite a while now.
Pretty much from the beginning, and even a little bit before the beginning. Mm-hmm. Because before Artlifting actually started up, Liz, the founder of Artlifting, had started a show called City Heart, and it was a once a year arts and crafts arts sale in
Yeah.
the Prudential Center.
Uh-huh.
So that's
For homeless and disabled people?
for homeless, disabled, and they worked with it was either 5 or 6 of the major shelters
Yeah.
in the city. You
Yeah.
know, St. Francis and Pine Street Inn
Yep, all those guys.
and Women's Place.
Yeah. Your piece is, you know, when I hang a show, you know, I always go through the pieces and line them up, and you know how it is, you fiddle and diddle and stuff. It didn't take me long to find the centerpiece for this show. It's a beautiful, the black and white. You said it's the, anybody important?
No.
Is it Kitty telling you that?
Can I
she's
shut it
gonna-
off? Whoops.
Maybe someone's saying, how much? No, we can't do it. But it fascinated me right away. You know, I'm color all over the place. But when I saw that piece, it really touched me. If we can bring up the black and white, the harbor water one, just so that, yeah, when you get to it, tell us a little bit about there it is. Tell us a little bit about what goes into making a piece like this.
All of my larger pieces start out as a photograph. I've been known to just go from one end of the city and to the other end in a day and just snap pictures along the way.
Yeah.
And this particular one, the Ripple, is part of a walk I did on the Harbor Walk one day. I started at the Constitution and ended at the Harpoon.
Oh my
Factory.
God, that's
a lot.
travel.
And there was a goal, you know. But it was fun. I was just taking pictures of
That's a
whatever
beautiful part of the
whatever
city.
caught my eye,
Yeah, it's
you know. And this is the result of one of them.
But it's cut paper.
It's cut from a single sheet of black paper, about 20 by 30. And what I do is I take the picture that I've taken and turn it into a high contrast black and white image.
Right.
And I just work from there.
Right. Are all of your pieces like that?
Yes.
So that's your medium.
Yes, paper.
Paper.
Paper. Love paper.
It's
Folding
beautiful.
paper, cutting paper.
Now,
Yeah,
how do
that's-
you put them against the?
I-
It's cut black paper against white paper.
I use an archival adhesive.
Okay.
So it's not going to break down. It holds it. It gives it a little bit of breathing room to stretch and.
Is the black part all one piece?
Yeah, it's all one piece.
Wow.
So it's like cutting out a big stencil.
It's amazing.
What makes you pick your pieces? I mean, what drives you to your subject matter?
I like taking different views. Like I have one of Trinity Church, and you know everybody takes pictures from the front.
Right.
So I went around the back, and they've got the covered walkways going on there, and all the different roof lines and angles. And you see an average picture of Trinity Church. You've got the church and the Hancock here.
Right,
With
right.
mine, it's the church and the Hancock's here. And so he said, "That's backwards." I'm like, "No, that's the back porch."
It's where I was. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So
great.
it's,
What brought you into this kind of medium?
um,
Were there other mediums? I mean, were you painting? Were you-
I've done photography.
yeah, obviously. Photography, yeah.
And stained glass work.
Oh, okay.
A little bit of drawing. I can cut a straight line better than I can draw it. So,
It is easier somehow. It's
Yeah.
easier somehow to cut a straight line than draw
yeah,
a straight
you
line.
just get into the mode and you
Yeah.
just go. And I use X-Acto knives.
Yeah, yeah.
It just nice sharp blades make it nice.
Are you lucky enough to have a space to work?
I am housed now.
Oh, good. Very
you
good.
know, there was a period in my life where I was homeless. But that was a while back. But I do have a place to live and work. You know.
Good. I want to take just a couple of seconds to talk about art lifting. I mean, it sounds like you've got a lot of experience. Art lifting's a great name.
Yeah, it is.
What, from your experience, from what you've gathered from this, you've seen a lot of people come and go and benefit from this.
Mostly when they come, they stay.
Yeah.
There were a few that when we first started up, they've moved away, and they really art lifting hadn't spread across the country yet, but
Yeah.
now it's 11 cities.
That's amazing.
So that's pretty much how we've lost some people. And,
Yeah.
and of course, with the population that they work with, homeless people can be surprisingly mobile. They're here one day, they're gone the next, and you worry about them. Where did they go? Or, you know, until you find somebody that knows where they went.
The network,
last winter was horrible. There were so many people that you just don't see anymore, and nobody knows where they are. Artists.
What has it done for you?
It's taken me places I never would have imagined being in. Some of my pieces are hanging at Staples now.
That's great.
It's amazing.
I did one of Fenway Park. John Henry owns that now.
Wow.
And I've been working on a commission for Harvard.
That's great.
And none of that would have happened without Artlifting. And Artlifting wouldn't have happened without Boston.
Right. Yeah. Let's give everybody the website again. Let's make sure everybody knows.
It's artlifting.com. And Artlifting's on Facebook also.
Let's talk about Katie for a second. She seems to be running around with all kinds of different responsibilities. I kind of
like the road
stunned
runner
her a little bit when she came in. I said, I'm going to have to interview you. She said, oh.
Okay.
But she had a change with it. She ran and changed her phone. I shouldn't be saying that, but she did. She ran and changed.
What was wrong with the first outfit?
I don't know. Talk a little bit about her impact on some of the people.
She's the one who comes up with the product ideas. The bags, the phone cases, you know, it's like, this is...
Yeah, that's amazing.
The phone case.
It's one of your pieces, isn't it?
Yeah. I never would have thought of putting it on a phone case.
Yeah.
And they're like, hey, let's try this. And not a month goes by that at least a couple don't sell.
That's beautiful.
It's not a lot of money, but it lets me buy more paper.
Keeps you in paper. Oh, that's an artist. There's an artist right there. It keeps me in paint. That's good. That's very, very good. So she's kind of the driving force behind getting people to notice your work.
Yes.
And I think that's an important role to play.
Yes, it's all about taking notice. You can be the greatest artist in the world, but if nobody's out there advocating for you, you know, it's not going to happen. You know.
Alan, I want to thank you for coming in and spending some time with us. Let's not be strangers. We should be looking at more of your work. Let's get you in here as a regular guest and look at some of your work.
We can try.
Yeah, we can. The challenge, another challenge.
Challenge accepted.
Yeah, challenge accepted.
Alan, thank you so much. Will you say goodnight with us here?
Sure.
Say goodnight with us. Val, great show.
Thank you. Great show. This was amazing. This was
yeah,
wonderful.
you know, and I love it when there's purpose behind it. You know, when art is making a difference. You know, I mean, it's great to be a teacher. It's great to be an artist that's, you know, showing your work here and there and doing all of that. But when we give art, when we put purpose behind it, I think that makes it even all the more.
Especially in an organization like this, incredible.
I mean, there's at least 3 artists that work with Artlifting that now have a place to live.
Have a home.
Because of Artlifting.
Yeah,
you know,
and that's incredible.
That is.
Having your work accepted gives you a lift, and then it makes everything else in your life
kind of follow along,
right?
Yeah.
That's great. Thank you so much. Listen, gang, get out there and do something artful for yourself, will you? Get out there and check out some art. Go to artlifting.com, cruise around and see what kind of stuff is going on there. And listen, like we like to say every week, please, can't wait till don't have to say this anymore, but please, keep in the forefront of your minds our mothers, fathers, sons and daughters, aunts and uncles, nieces and nephews on foreign soil. Please, do something artful, do it for them, okay? We'll see you next week. We'll see you next week, Val.
See you next week.
All right, guys, bye-bye now. Good night.
Bye.